Alright, today we're going to be looking at why EDP Intense by YSL. If you're thinking of buying this fragrance or any others over at fragranceyt.com, use the discount code linked in the description below to get 30% off your entire purchase. You'll not only save some money and help support the channel, but you'll also be a huge mensch, which is decidedly more important. Let me start by saying I'm not a huge fan of the Y line of fragrances. I've always gravitated to YSL's L'Homme line, which I think is far superior and one that I need to take more time to explore and appreciate. Like fine wines, great novels, and the music of Weird Al Yankovic. That man can fucking rock an accordion, let me tell you. The Y line has always been a little too sweet for my tastes, a little too mass appealing, a little too ordinary, a little too much like watching a Marvel movie instead of something a little more challenging and rewarding like Mike Nichols' Catch-22, one of the finest films to ever come out of the 1970s. But then they released this intense flanker, and on a whim I gave it a try and really liked it. But let's be honest, the core of the Y line is still here. They just removed a note or two, added a couple of others, and voila, something that felt a little more at home on my shelf instead of a shelf with someone with lesser taste. The open's a refreshing dose of ginger, juniper, and bergamot. They removed that very sweet apple note from this one, and man, what a difference that makes. Instead of a sweet citrus open that bores me more than a Joe Rogan podcast, we get a spicy, green citrus open that feels a little more grown up, a little more manly, and a little less like a former Florida Republican congressman who needs to pay minors for sex. The middle keeps it soft and green with sage, lavender, and geranium. Without that overwhelming sweetness in the open, the middle gets its moment in the sun, allowing it to shine and strut its stuff. Like when the Beatles broke up and George Harrison made All Things Must Pass, and everyone finally got to see that it was George, not Paul or John, who was the true genius of that group. It was never going to be Ringo, we all knew that. The base loads up green woods with vetiver, patchouli, and cedar. It's a safe dry down, not trying to impress or even redefine, but rather offer up something familiar and inviting to make sure it doesn't offend. And this base is really where you feel the core of the original Y fragrance, one that was made just to be nice and inoffensive, something to wear to work or school. Presentation doesn't stray far from the line, but it's a good-looking bottle, and that Y on the side definitely sets it apart from other bottles on your shelf. The atomizer is nice and strong, no worries about dribbles or other dumb fuckery. Longevity is fantastic. I get 7 to 8 hours on my skin with strong projection for up to 3 hours. Is this gonna get you compliments? Sure, of course it will, but if you're asking that question, you're watching the wrong YouTube channel. Go find some other asshole to play into your insecurities. You're not gonna find that bullshit here. I treat you all like men and expect you to act like it. Final thoughts? This is a better blue fragrance than any of the others in the Y line, if only because it's more grown up and less mass appealing. Go find it and try it for yourself. After that, it's up to you.